Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to be diving into my first look at this Sunday, the main slate of the Week 13 of the NFL season over here on Draftkings. These are going to be some of my favorite tournament plays or GPP plays for this week. Basically, some of the guys that I think are a little bit more contrarian that might help you take down a big tournament like the Millie Maker. So we're going to jump right into this. I hope you all had a very wonderful Thanksgiving. If you have not already, please do leave a like on this video. I greatly appreciate your support as always. And if you do have any questions, comments, or concerns for me, whether it's DraftKings, FanDuel, Yahoo, any DFS site or season-long fantasy questions, I'm happy to give y'all advice when I can. Starting off here at QB, I do want to mention I normally mention like 2 or 3 players from every position, but I think I'm going to mention closer to 3 or 4 just because I don't have any ownership projections yet. If I only name like 1 or 2 and I say Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, they might both be very, very high owned, and that's not so much of a tournament play, so I want to make sure I'm giving you guys enough info. But at quarterback, I already said his name once. Patrick Mahomes is easily one of my favorite QBs on the slate, if not my absolute favorite. I'm okay with paying up all the way at QB in tournaments. It makes a lot of sense to me. I don't think it's a very strong cash play. I think we could find value about $2K cheaper in our cash game lineups. But Patrick Mahomes has the ability to score 35 to 40 points on any given week, especially a week against Oakland, who has been getting absolutely shredded by the passing game. Obviously, my voice is a little scratchy. I apologize for that. It was just a really fun Thanksgiving. But we're coming down a little bit, though. 900 cheaper, we have Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, I think, is going to be a very strong tournament play this week. I think he will go under-owned because of his performances this year. He has only performed at an elite level in terms of fantasy points against poor passing defenses. Detroit is allowed quite a few points to quarterbacks this year. Regardless, though, he played pretty average that week. The Oakland team, the Kansas City Chiefs, and Philly all are struggling in terms of their secondaries. Kansas City less so than the others, but regardless, he has been playing very well against poor defenses this year. I really like Aaron Rodgers as a tournament play this week. I think that when you plug him in and you come over here to wide receiver and you correlate him with Davante Adams, who I expect to play and hope plays, it makes way too much sense for me. Definitely a solid stack that I'm on this week. But if we want to come down a little bit at quarterback, I think Nick Foles will be very, very popular at just 5,700. I expect him to be pretty cashy, probably a very safe play all around because he is playing that horrendous Tampa Bay secondary. But I do want to mention him anyway because if for any reason Nick Foles goes under-owned this week, that's definitely just a really smart play to make. And then the last guy I do want to mention to you guys, 5,400 for Ryan Fitzpatrick playing against this Philadelphia Eagles secondary who is horrendous. So that's really all I have to say about that for quarterback. It's pretty self-explanatory. If I played Fitzpatrick, I'd probably want to play Davante Parker. Same thing, obviously, with Aaron Rodgers, Davante Adams, Patrick Mahomes. I don't think you have to pair him with Tyreek Hill or Kelsey. I think that one of them is fine, but I really like Sammy Watkins against Oakland as well. Coming over here at running back, all the way at the top of the list, we have Run CMC, as he always is, as he should be. I am never going to rule out Christian McCaffrey. I think he's a fine play, and if you catch Christian McCaffrey at sub 10% owned and he has a 45 or 50-point fantasy game, he will make you rich. I just want to be clear on that. My best lineup last week had Christian McCaffrey in it, and he was very under-owned. He's just a very strong play to make. I'm sorry, I didn't even plug in Patrick Mahomes for the dummy lineup I like to build over here for you guys. But coming here to running back, though, running it back the other way is Josh Jacobs for this Oakland team. He's been a little limited in terms of his volume over the past week, but regardless, I think that he will play, and I hope that when he does play, that he gets a serious workhorse sort of volume. If he does get 20-plus carries in this game, like I think he will, it's going to be a monster week for Josh Jacobs. I love him on the other side of this game right here. I like to start my lineups like this, a quarterback from one team and a running back from another. People are also underestimating how important this game is to both of these teams in terms of playoff implications. It's way closer in that division than any of us expected it to be. And then continuing running back, though, Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams have very good matchups for Green Bay playing against this Giants defense. The Giants got exposed by the run multiple times this year. I prefer to target the passing game, but regardless, I do want to mention them because those Green Bay running backs definitely have some very, very solid matchups. Another running back that I want to mention for tournaments that I love is Kenyan Drake this week. We've seen him getting a solid chunk of volume since he's been traded to this Arizona Cardinals team. He performed very well against one of the league's best defenses in the San Francisco 49ers, and I really like him this week playing against this Los Angeles Rams front who just got burned by Baltimore. It wasn't the fact that it was a shootout. It wasn't the fact of the way the game script happened. Every single run Baltimore ran was a serious gain. I love Kenyan Drake in this spot. Makes a lot of sense to me, and I love to play him in tournaments because I do think that he will go under-owned. Coming over to wide receiver, though, I know I already mentioned him. I don't think we have to play Aaron Rodgers to play Davante Adams. I think Davante Adams, if he plays, is in an amazing spot against DeAndre Baker and is just way too cheap for the volume he's going to get and likely a massive ceiling that he's going to hit. It's going to be unreal. I really, really love Davante Adams this week, especially at just 7K, so I'm definitely locking him into this lineup, and I recommend that you lock him into quite a few of your lineups as well if he plays 100% without limitation. Continuing on at wide receiver, I can't go without mentioning DJ Chark do. DJ Chark has one of the sickest matchups of anybody on the field this week. I know this little green 32 is attractive to a lot of casual players, guys that just kind of say like, oh, they're playing against somebody bad, let me play him. I understand that, but this is a week where I'm not afraid to play DJ Chark. If he's ever going to do this again, if he's ever going to have this ceiling game, it's going to be this week against this Tampa Bay secondary. I'm not afraid to play him. Like I said, I really, really like the play on DJ Chark. I think he's fine, and I think he will be relatively popular, which I'm okay with because I don't think we need to be super contrarian because we're going to be playing pretty different sort of a lineup anyway. And then the last person at wide receiver, I mean, I do want to mention the Miami guys. I'm okay with Devontae Parker and Allen Hurns. I think they're both absolutely fine. But for this lineup, the one pair I'm going to make with Patrick Mahomes is Sammy Watkins. He missed practice on Thanksgiving due to an illness. I think he's going to be absolutely fine. I hope he is. If he plays, he's an absolute lock for me. I love this matchup for him. If he misses, I'll probably end up settling and paying up for Travis Kelce if I can. Got to see how the roster construction works. But if we were to plug him into this lineup, let's come over to defense and let's go pay down at defense. We need to make sure that we're leaving ourselves enough room on the table to fit in all the guys that we want to. I'm okay with a lot of defenses this week, in all honesty. I think some of my favorite ones are going to be in this tier right here, kind of just this mid-tier. I think a few of these defenses here make sense. I'm okay with a defense like the Ravens at 2,800. I think that's fine. The Broncos against the Chargers is okay with me. I think I would prefer the Chargers defense. If I'm going to pay 3K, might as well go up to 3,100 for the Chargers. So for me, it's probably the Chargers or the Ravens in this range. I'm okay with taking the Ravens in a tournament because they are playing that Niners team. I expect them to go very under-owned. But that's gonna bring us over to tight end, where I can mention one of my absolute favorite plays, playing against the Arizona Cardinals, the absolute worst team at defending opposing tight ends. We have Tyler Higbee, who outsnapped Gerald Everett last week. I love Tyler Higbee in this spot. I hope that he outsnaps Everett again, because if he does, he will absolutely pay off that min price tag at 2,500, and that's going to leave us feeling comfortable in our lineup, and we have 5,800 left in our flex. A lot of different things we can do here. I'm okay with a lot of these plays. I already mentioned Davante Parker. That's probably where I would fall right here. I think that that's a very strong play. I also think Austin Eckler warrants some serious fantasy consideration this week. Obviously, Melvin Gordon taking over sort of that workhorse, the entire workload, I should say, in that Chargers backfield. But with the full PPR over here on Draftkings, playing against this Denver Broncos defense who got absolutely torched by Leonard Fournette just a few weeks back, I definitely think Austin Eckler is a very interesting play as well. And, of course, Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk is a very, very strong play this week. If we watch that the Baltimore primetime game, I definitely think Christian Kirk is going to be able to make some noise this week. I don't like him for a 3-touchdown repeat, but that's where I would fall if I had this $5,700 left. So I will leave you guys with this. I'm still looking at some of the FanDuel pricing. I want to get some projections before I talk about FanDuel, so I will make sure to talk about FanDuel a lot in the cash game video that I will upload tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Again, I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. It's going to be a great Sunday. If you do have any questions for me, again, please leave them in the comment section below or tweet me or just DM me on Twitter. My DM should be open, and I look forward to hearing back from you guys. Good luck to everybody playing this weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow.